Today I'm in Lewisville, Texas, kind of in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're at the Vista Ridge Mall. And I've been recommended to come here by a few people and some people that live in this area. So heard it's kind of a dead mall. It looks a little bit dead from the outside. I'm actually here on a Sunday when it's opening, so don't know if this is a busy time or less busy time for the mall than it normally would be. But the surrounding area, they've got restaurants, and there's a Asian grocery store that looks pretty busy and popular. But the mall parking lot definitely does not look very popular. So let's go check it out.
Quick drive around the mall, and there's a entrance that looks like the one that we were just looking at, but it's on the other side of the mall. And same thing with the empty anchor store on this side of the mall as well. And then there, part of that anchor store side, I think it's the same one as jwise Vending and 12 Vend. Not sure what that is. We'll have to see if there's anything on the inside. So you can see from above how large the mall is. It's a big mall, over 1 million square feet, and there are 2 floors. So it really doubles how big it is. There's room for 6,300 cars in the parking lot. You can see the kind of natural light coming through those round-shaped green areas. See a lot of that inside. So let's head inside and check it out. Didn't quite know what to expect going inside. They do have a mall directory right here, and there's a list of a lot of stores, and not sure they're all there still. So they actually just call this the Vista. It used to be called Vista Ridge. It's also called Music City Mall. Opened in 1989, so it's a fairly new mall compared to other malls that I've been to, and you're going to see how it's much more modern looking. It's right here, just walking in, one of the first kind of central area. There's several of these areas that in most malls would be the main area that's the central part of the mall, but there's several of these. And there's the movie theater, Cinemark. It's one of the, I guess you call it, anchor stores that are remaining. So there's Dillard's Clearance, there's Cinemark, and there's the Zion Market, which we'll show you a lot more later. So originally opened 1989 as the Vista Ridge Mall. Television host Bob Eubanks presided over the ribbon-cutting ceremony. There were other celebrities throughout the weekend, including Texas Rangers baseball players, Miss Texas, and Corbin Benson of LA Law. And when it opened, Vista Ridge Mall was the largest mall in the southwestern United States. So this is a huge mall, especially at the time. The Cinemark opened up its flagship 12-screen location inside the mall. They had a marquee and ticket office located in the center court. Now things are looking a little bit different. It was the largest theater complex in the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. And when you think about how big that area is, and this was the largest one, it just goes to show how much it's fallen off. The mall opened with 74 stores, Sears and Dillard's as the initial anchors. The third anchor was JCPenney, and the fourth was Foley's. They were all open within about a year of it opening. You see other stores here now, like Gangnam Style. That's a nod to there's going to be a significant Asian influence in this mall as we go through. We have an interesting arcade here, a lot of pinball machines. Some interesting ones I've not seen before. Not a huge pinball guy, but if you like pinball, this would be the place to check out. I do remember playing off-road, though. They did a nice job with the aesthetics. All around the mall, they've done that. And actually, it has won several architectural design awards, merit awards, the International Council of Shopping Center awards. I didn't know that was a thing, but they've won awards with that. Here's another central area. It's very interesting looking. It's a place where obviously you can go to the second floor. Some of those areas were closed off, but you can go to the second floor here. And we'll just keep on heading down the mall. So in 2006, Cinemark opened an attached 15-screen movie theater, and you could enter from inside or outside the mall. Foley's was rebranded as Macy's in 2006. Tragically, in 2013, a man killed himself inside the mall following a domestic dispute. He's been on multiple TV shows. Bakery Boss was one, Food Network series, Food Court Wars. Singer Tiffany performed a concert during production of that episode. Now look at this. This is really beautiful area here. I'd say this is the main area if you're going to talk about like centralized locations of the mall. So in 2017, the mall was bought for $17 million by Texas businessman John Bushman, who owned Music City Mall in Odessa. It sold for about half of its appraised value. And then he renamed it Music City Mall Lewisville. In 2018, they had a grand reopening featuring Disney Channel stars, and the event focused on activities for families. The mall then transitioned to a music-focused identity and became a key supporter of the local music and arts scene. The mall featured live performances 7 days a week and helped sustain local musicians. Then in 2018, Sears announced it would close as part of a nationwide plan, closing 72 stores. And then in 2019, Zion Market opened its first Texas location in the former Sears space. Dillard's transitioned into a clearance location in 2019. You can see the Dillard's is coming up here after we check out this empty store. There's the Dillard's clearance sign. Interesting that they only allow that from the outside. I would think they would want people from the inside to come as well, but they just have it from the outside. Next to it, there's a Lone Star Bikers store, I guess you call it. Certainly, there are stores like this that obviously aren't vacant, but must have just irregular hours, not open all the time when the mall is. Let's go on up to the second floor, see what we can find. In 2020, JCPenney announced it would be closing as a plan to close 154 stores nationwide. And then in 2021, Macy's announced it would be closing as well. They were closing 46 stores nationwide. So they've redeveloped some of the malls. So on the left here is like an event center space. They were having some sort of a business event in there that day. So after Macy's left, Dillard's is the only traditional department store left as an anchor store. So in 2022, the Lewisville City Council approved an agreement and purchased, through another company, purchased the mall back. So it became the Vista. So it's actually not Vista Ridge, it's just the Vista. And the reason it says Vista Ridge on some of the signage is because that's what it used to be called, and they just haven't replaced it. So when they rebought the mall, I guess the city worked with a group to buy the mall, so they discontinued the live performances. They were informed the mall would be renamed, like the employees of the mall. And here's that vending store company, I guess you would call it. I'm not sure, what they're doing there, but it's like the vending store graveyard. Makes sense here. So on the second floor, you can see there's lots of, I'd say, more vacant stores. There were some, at least on the first floor, that had some businesses here and there, but on the second floor, there's not much remaining at all. Good place to walk if you want to do some walking. So there's been some meetings from the city council to redevelop the mall. Nothing has been finalized. There's another great view of the main part of the mall. Food court. Some things open, some things not. One kind of area of the restaurant that seems somewhat successful is there's an Asian food restaurant. So the population of this part of the Dallas-Fort Worth area is a pretty large Asian community, so it makes sense with what you'll start seeing now and a little bit more in the video. I've never seen a fencing academy in the mall, so this was kind of unique, but an example of what some of the places get rented out for. In 2017, this Lest We Forget World War II museum was relocated to the mall from Valley View Center in Dallas. So it has World War II artifacts, uniforms, and flags. Unfortunately, it wasn't open. Would have been a great little place to go check out, but from the outside, looks like there's a lot to see. Back downstairs was a K-pop music store, and you might wonder, why is this open or popular? Well, they have a food court here for the Zion Market. The market's a grocery store, and then they have a food court that seems very successful. You see all the business that's happening, and there were people coming in and out throughout the time I was there. So the Zion Market is certainly taken over the most successful part of this building, and they've connected their grocery store with this food court. Seems like a good idea. Right here by the Neo Claw, you can see there's the grocery store, and that's pretty much the tour of the Vista.
That was a really interesting visit to the Vista Ridge Mall here in Lewisville, Texas. I didn't know anything about it coming in, so definitely coming in blind, which is kind of interesting to learn. I didn't realize there was such a, significant Asian population, specifically Korean population, and it makes for an interesting visit. So obviously lots of empty stores, but there were stores, there were some that were maybe just closed at the time I'm here. There were people here. There were people walking up and down. There was families with kids playing. You could probably hear them in the video. And then, I got to the Zion Marketplace. I thought that coming into it, I thought it was maybe just a grocery store that was just connected to the side of the mall. But they have a whole food court, which is really busy. And so you just wonder about like the future of a mall. I like to think about these malls like towns. And, there's ghost towns where people have left and they're never coming back. And there's malls like that too. You go to like Muskogee, Oklahoma, and then, they just end up closing those places down. But then this one seems like maybe there's a future of some sort. I don't know what it'll be, but it was interesting. That's for sure. It's a beautiful mall. There's a lot of really cool lighting with different, areas. It was huge compared to a lot of other places. So I can imagine how busy it was at one time. So very interesting. Glad I came, and a great recommendation by those of you that recommended it. That was a very interesting visit to the Vista Ridge Mall here in Lewisville, Oklahoma. Done so many videos about Oklahoma lately.